before I start this video, just know that this will not make any sense whatsoever. If you want to read it for yourself, this probably be the best time to read it along as I say it. But yeah, with that being said, enjoy. Angering death is generally a bad idea. The reason for that is, well, it's death. Pissing it off generally leads to bad things. Unfortunately, Harry's family has a habit of pissing off death, starting with the three brothers that magicked up a bridge over a river, going through to a dark lord that makes soul containers to beat death, and ending with Harry. Harry collected all three Deathly Hallows and became Master of Death. Death didn't usually mind, but on occasion it has mood swings, and one of those mood swings, Harry did something wrong. He wasn't sure what he did when he was wrong, but Death had been furious, which led to his current predicament. He had gone to sleep as Harry Potter, and woken up as Bella Swan, on an airplane, on the way to Forks. Thankfully, he, or rather she, had the sense of mind to put up a notice me not, small enough not to affect the plane's function, before she let loose a string of curses that would make a sailor blush, and then pass out from shock. She read the books once. It wasn't going to happen to her. If Death expected her to follow through with the original script, it had another thing coming. Edward Cullen would stay the fuck away from her if he knew it was good for him. Edward Cullen did not know what was good for him. On the plus side, Harry had made friends with the rest of the Cullen kids, who thought Edward's attempts to woo her were cute. Or at least thought her attempts to cause the harm the immortally 17-year-old girl was cute. So far, she had thrown him in through a wall, slammed his face into a locker and a desk, and given him a kick to the balls 6 times. Magically enhanced, of course, so as not to hurt herself. He didn't get the hint, and that she wasn't interested. And then Rosalie thought it would be funny to invite her to their house. Bella, this is Carlisle and Esme, our adoptive parents. Carlisle, Esme, this is Bella. She's my girlfriend, Edward said with a smile, putting an arm around Harry's shoulders. Fuck that shit, Harry said, elbowing the vampire in the face hard, causing the venom that served as the vampire's blood to start pouring out of his nose. Harry ignored Alice's chirping. Language, Bella. She doesn't know what she's saying, Edward mumbled, trying to stop the flow of venom. Don't need to kick you in the balls again, pervert. Bella, language, Alice chirped again. I'll stop cursing when he gets a fucking clue. You'll be cursing for all eternity at this rate, Emmett said. Edward's eyes lit up. Eternity? No, Harry said, picking Edward up and slamming him through the dining room table, shattering it to pieces. She then turned to Esme and Carlisle and smiled. I'll pay for the table. She loves me, Edward murmured dreamily. When Emmett finally drove Bella home, Carlisle had managed to find another table, so Bella could have some of Esme's cooking. Yes, Edward, Rosalie said sarcastically. The way she tried stabbing you in the face with her steak knife, and butter knife, and her fork, and her spoon, and why she shoved all those 6 broken chair legs up your ass, and then beat you with the 8th. Sometimes love hurts, Edward argued. Bella must love you a lot then, Jasper muttered. I know, Edward said dreamily. Would someone please tell me what's going on? Carlisle asked. Edward has a crush on Bella, and Bella would just rather let Jane use her power full blast on her, Alice said. Alice, that's something to joke about, Esme said. She's not joking, Rosalie said. Bella said exactly that at school yesterday, though she used colorful language to say it, Jasper said. I have no idea where she heard of Jane, though, Alice said. Bella said we were the first vampire she ever met, and none of us mentioned her. Bella knows we're vampires? Harry was not only invited to the Cullens baseball game, she was invited to play with them. Anyone who can do that much damage to one of us with her bare hands deserves a chance to play, Emmett said. And then the other vampires showed up, which would have been great except they had red eyes, making them human drinkers rather than animal drinkers. Oh, look, you brought a snack, one of them said, looking straight at Harry. Harry opened his mouth to protest, but before she could, Edward put her arm around her shoulders and growled at them. Harry shut her mouth, glared at Edward, and then proceeded to beat him with the baseball bat. What the fuck did I tell you about touching me, you shitty little perverted fucker, Harry yelled. The few human drinkers watched in horrified awe as Harry hit Edward so hard so many times that the big guy began to bend into the shape of Edward's head. Holy shit, the female vampire said. I'm suddenly not hungry anymore, the one who had called her a snack said. I don't think I'll ever be hungry again, the last one said. Larnot could convert an animal drinker with help from the Denali clan, while Victoria and James left for the East Coast as soon as they could manage it. Harry spent most of her time in Forks, cursing and beating the shit out of Edward. Harry spent most of her time not in Forks, on the local reservation, where she managed to convince most of the woke pack to join the Cullens are awesome, except for Edward. He's a fucking douche club. Jesus Christ. Harry was naturally president of the club. Jacob and Seth shared the vice president post. Seth for the Cullens are awesome part, and Jacob for the Edward's a douche part. Leah was treasurer because Harry had gone straight up to Sam the day before after he brain on Emily and punched him in the face. And also, Leah was really good at math. Harry refrained from cursing. There was impressionable young ears around as he informed Seth that he was an even bigger douche than Edward. He should really work on that. Being a bigger douche than Edward was something to prove. Esme was shocked to see the majority of the vault tree standing on her front porch when she answered the door. Oh, hello. To what do we owe this pleasure of this visit? Arrow raised an eyebrow and then handed over a decorative invitation with words written in a cursive script. You are cordially invited to the wedding of Edward Cullen and Isabel Swan. At the bottom, in Edward's handwriting, was P.S. Alice wants to speak to Jane. Oh, that boy, Esme said. She's going to murder him for this. Alice ran down the stairs, grabbed an invitation in Jane's hand before heading back, yelling, Everyone to the backyard! Alice, are you sure it's a good idea? Carlisle said after reading the invitation. Bella and meet the Volturi one way or another. Trust me, this is the best way. How is a meeting in your backyard the best way? Harry said. No one can see the damage from the front, Alice said. Jane, this is Bella. Have you met her before? No. At least Jane wasn't certain she hadn't. Took a good look at Harry. No, I haven't seen her before today. Oh, that's weird, because she told us she'd rather have you use your powers on her full blast than do anything with Edward. Then why did you get an invitation to, Arrow said, turning off in confusion. Invitation to what? Harry said. Carlisle handed the invitation over for Harry to read. Harry read it, closed her eyes, took a deep breath, opened her eyes, read it again, and handed back to Carlisle. The Cullens, except Edward, took several steps back, pulling the members of Volturi along with them. Edward? Yes, my love, Edward said, smiling brightly, sure that Harry would happily marry him. You fucking shithead, Harry yelled, kicking him in the balls. Edward was lifted several inches off the ground. Harry didn't give him any chance to recover before grabbing him by the legs and slamming him into the ground several times. When she got tired of that, she ripped the tree out of the ground and began to slam that into Edward. Are you not going to stop this? Collis asked. Stunned by the immense violence, Emmett snorted. You want to be the one to get in between her and the target of her anger? Be my guest. I'm not doing it. As Harry picked Edward up and threw him through 4 separate trees in one throw, the rest of the vampires had to agree with Emmett. They weren't doing it either. Hi, Bella, honey, Charlie said. How's your day with the Cullens? Fine, until Edward tried to get me to marry him. Charlie shook his head. The Cullens were a wonderful family, except for Edward, who seemed to be the only bad apple of the bunch. One day, the boy who would figure out Bella was interested and move on. You show him who's boss? Yep. Good girl.